What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today, I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this J. Cole album called KOD. Now, J. Cole is an artist who I don't need to talk about because everybody knows who he is, at least in regards to his past work. So if you want to know what I think about that music, just go ahead and look on my channel where I have some reviews. But I really wanted to jump into this one because there is a lot to break down. Now, first of all, KOD actually stands for Kids on Drugs, King Overdosed, and Kill Our Demons. And all these ideas will make sense as you listen through this project because of the themes and the concepts. This is really a project that deals with finding positive ways to deal with your pain, so you're getting a lot of content that has to do with mental illness as well as addiction. This is actually all set up on the intro. We get this smooth little jazz track that is telling you to choose wisely when it comes to dealing with your pain. You don't want to get caught up into negative cycles, doing drugs to deal with your pain like so many people, including rappers, are doing. So this just kind of sets everything up and lets you know what you're in for. So on the song Friends, J. Cole actually takes it a step further and suggests that instead of medicating, you meditate, because that would be something more positive to do. Just an example of a solution that J. Cole offers. Now, he himself admits on this track that that's not a very cool thing to say, but I still appreciate what he's saying. And overall, I find J. Cole to be an artist who is very genuine and sincere. As much as I'm not in love with his music, like I'm not a diehard J. Cole fan at all, I still respect him, and I think he has a very strong connection with his fans. I think that's really how he builds himself up so much because, as you can see by looking on Twitter, his fan base is crazy, which I will talk about a bit later. But, you know, he's someone that I do respect just as a person who wants to speak on things and try to make positive change. So I can't really hate on that. Now, this song, Friends, also deals with the dangerous mixture of depression, playing the blame game, and also substance abuse. So really, he's bringing you tons of content, man. There's no shortage of that on here. But one of the problems I have with this is some of the features, mainly Kill Edward, which really isn't even a feature. Like, that's all you're going to see for features is Kill Edward, and it's just J. Cole with awful vocal effects put on his voice. I think by far that is the weakest part of this project, is all the hooks and the bridges where he's singing as Kill Edward or as himself, because J. Cole's singing voice is not strong, and that is something I've always been turned off from when it comes to his music. I just listen to this project and I think to myself how much better it could have been with some real vocalists, man, or even just some other features to help on hooks and bridges or help break things up, because to me, J. Cole is not the type of artist who is that amazing and interesting and profound to hold my attention through a whole project, man. Maybe that's just me. That's just something I feel. So you're going to notice some more of these weak vocals on Kevin's Heart, although I did like the beat here. You get this nice T- production that's kind of hazy and atmospheric, and the concept here is cool because it deals with temptation, struggling again with addiction, and even a little bit of cheating. So Kevin's Heart, Kevin Hart, you do get a cool concept that ties into Kevin Hart being a cheater. So, you know, he does have clever concepts and ideas. That's one of the best things here. But even some of the tracks I really like I did like the Cutoff because of the jazzy production and just the content where J. Cole was talking about cutting negative influences out of his life. Even with the songs like that I kind of like, there's something that's ruining it, man. On this one, you get Kill Edward again. It just really sounds so bad. I don't like the Kill Edward feature at all. I don't know why he really thought that was a great idea. Maybe it did stick with some people, but I thought it sounded terrible, and really getting someone else on there would have made a huge difference. So one of the other things I got to say, like, I keep talking about his messages and his concepts, which I do appreciate, but I also find that people overstate J. Cole's level of profoundness and depth. Like, he really is just saying straightforward, common sense shit. But then if you go on Twitter, as I mentioned earlier, you will see his fans and stans going crazy. Like, he's the only one to make this type of music and to speak on these issues and touch on these things. But that's not true, man. Mental illness and substance abuse are probably two of the hottest topics in hip-hop within the past couple of years. Even the trap shit that so many people don't like deals with some of the issues that people have with substance abuse, whether it's lean, Xanax, pills, and all those sorts of things. There are plenty of conscious artists speaking on mental illness, you know, substance abuse, all kinds of other issues, and dropping social commentary. So it just drives me crazy. Sometimes it seems like J. Cole fans are in this bubble where they're not listening to a lot of hip hop, because there are plenty of artists out there delivering great content, doing it in a better way, a more interesting way, with more interesting production styles, and so on. So I don't know, man. That's just something that kind of bothers me about J. Cole stans. If you like J. Cole, I ain't hating on you. It's your ears, not mine. But god damn it, man. Let's not act like he is at the top, like he is the zenith of artists who are speaking unconscious shit, because that is not true. But another thing that kind of bothers me about this project is how heavily it leans on that trap influence on the first half of it. Now, I do understand this first half is kind of mocking and emulating trap music, so it is infusing some better content and bars over top of the trap production, hooks, and flows. But even still, man, sonically, that first half was just very boring to me. When I first started listening to this project, it just wasn't keeping my attention at all, although I can commend Cole for trying something different. Not different in the grand scheme of things because you've heard this style from other people plenty of times, but for J. Cole himself to do it, it was a bit different compared to his past catalog. But as I said, the production definitely bangs on some of these tracks. I mean, the tracks I'm speaking on are KOD, Photograph, ATM, and Motivate. So you are getting some nice bass on these tracks. Like, they're not bad, they're not garbage, they're decent bangers, but they're not anything overly interesting. And some of the flows Cole is working, man, they are so repetitive and boring. Just that again, I get what he's doing. He's kind of poking fun at trap music by doing it himself, but that doesn't really make it that much better. And I find it interesting how so many J. Cole fans will say, you don't like J. Cole because all you like is trap music, when this motherfucker right here is now making trap music. Yes, with some better bars and content, but he's still making trap music, and I just thought some of these tracks were a bit repetitive. I don't think they're all out garbage by any means, but as I was listening to them, I wasn't thinking to myself, wow, this is unique, this is something crazy, I never heard this before, I gotta come back to this shit, because I honestly think the second half is much better. I mean, again, you're getting some good content on those tracks about substance abuse. I mean, this is just nailed into your head as you listen through this project. There's also a bit on here about dealing with social media issues. That was on Photograph. Chasing money, I think that's on the song ATM, where he's just saying, you know, you can't take money with you, so people are getting obsessed with it. There is a downfall there. You know, it's just trap with some good content. He's not the first to do that either, and sonically those tracks were kind of dry. But to get back to some of the shit I really did like here, I gotta talk about the track Brackets. I love the jazz beat here, and I love the content on this because he's really getting into the tax situation. As someone who's making a lot of money, J. Cole is paying crazy taxes, and he's just annoyed that he doesn't even get to pick where his taxes go. Like, this shit is going into funding gun companies, funding the police, funding other companies that maybe aren't helping black people out. So his idea is that he would rather be able to pick where his money goes so that he can help uplift people. In particular, he talks about the education system and how it's failing black youth. I actually really like the bar where he was saying something about the history being whitewashed. He says that men controlling the pen white out their sins. I thought that was a dope-ass line. And as we all know in history class, like, I remember, for me, obviously this is a long time ago now, but back in junior high, there was like 2 pages on black history, and it was like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., then you had Malcolm X. Like, you didn't get a lot at all. So I understand what he's saying. He's just talking about how history isn't always told in the full light. You're not getting the full story. And black people's history is often taught as if it started with slavery, and there wasn't all kinds of shit going on before, or, you know, they don't get into a lot of positive movements and things like that. But, you know, that's just my opinion. That's a whole other topic I could go into, so take it for what it is. Now, I did also like the track Once an Addict. This is a very minimalistic song where J. Cole is going in depth about what it was like to have a mother who was an addict. So this track was very cool to me. I like how he's getting introspective and telling his story. Definitely one of the standout moments. So this track and Brackets were J. Cole at his best, in my opinion. You got some nice beats, some nice verses, and he really is going into depth and showing why people like him as an artist. He does bring some nice content, some nice lyrics here, but even J. Cole's rap style, I mean, this has been my thing with him for a long time. I just find like his vocal performance, his flow in a lot of spots, isn't overly engaging. Like, he doesn't have crazy rhyme schemes. He's very straightforward, spitting straightforward, common sense bars in a straightforward, common sense approach. So it's not overly deep to me. I really do think that some of this shit is just profound to people who are younger. And I'm not saying that in a get off my lawn, old man type of way. I'm just saying, man, like, as someone who's older and has been through a lot of experiences and gone through shit, I'm not listening to J. Cole like, wow, these ideas are crazy. He's right. I shouldn't do drugs. They are bad. Man, taxes sure are a motherfucker. Like, I ain't going crazy over these ideas. I do like them, but I mean, it's not overly profound and deep. Can we just chill on that shit? Like, J. Cole, man, he is a guy who's conscious. He's smart by all means. Not saying he's dumb and spitting bullshit, but let's not act like he is just doing something that no one else is doing, man. Plenty of artists are doing this shit, and that's one of my main takeaways from this project. To keep things moving forward, though, I do have to shout out the track Window Pane. I thought this was kind of cool because once again, he's getting introspective and just also looking at the things that young people will do to be popular, including joining gangs and killing people. You know, he's really just trying to be a role model throughout most of this project and saying you don't need to do this shit. You know, like the intro says, choose wisely, don't get into bullshit. But the one track that people are really going crazy about, like everyone's talking about it, is 1985. This one does have a pretty cool beat on it. It's kind of slinky, and it reminds me of something that A Tribe Called Quest would get on. And Cole is just being a big brother to all the lil rappers out there. He's being very passive aggressive and condescending, so I did feel kind of weird about that. Like, it almost would have been better if he just did a straight up diss, but I understand his approach here. It's kind of like what Logic did to Joyner Lucas on his last tape, where he was calling him out but saying, I still love you, man. I'm gonna say all this bad shit about you, but I still love you, and we could still be friends, maybe. That's kind of what this shit is here, because he's telling these lil rappers, I respect what you're doing. I like to see young blacks getting money. You're enjoying life and blah-da-da-da-da, but you are glorifying negative issues. You're pushing stereotypes. You're wasting your money. You're not putting the money maybe into the community and doing better things. So this is big brother J. Cole. You know what I mean? It's like when your big brother puts an ass whooping on you just to try to teach a lesson. Still an ass whooping, but maybe you'll learn something from it. Maybe you won't. It really does seem like he's aiming at Lil Pump here in particular, because Lil Pump had some sort of issue with J. Cole at some point. I don't really follow J. Cole, so I don't know. I mean, I don't really follow Lil Pump, I meant to say, so I don't know what's going on with all that exactly. But I just seen Lil Pump put up a little video responding to J. Cole saying, oh, you're picking on a 17-year-old, but hey man, if you start some shit, you can get it. That's kind of how hip-hop goes. So this was a cool track. I'm not going crazy about it like everyone else, but hey, it is what it is. So other than that, man, I think that's pretty much everything I have to say on this project. I am going to go with a 3 out of 5 because, honestly, I think J. Cole is great at being good. I just am not connecting with any of his projects on a crazy level. I really wasn't a fan of the repetitive-ass flows and trap production on the first half of the project, or at least those handful of songs I talked about. And those hooks and bridges from J. Cole and his alter ego Kill Edward really took me out of a lot of these tracks, man. I think with a couple features on here, this shit would have been a clear 3.5 out of 5 for me, maybe even higher depending on how many features and how they were utilized. But J. Cole by himself and with this alter ego was not enough to really keep me excited about this whole project. I'm actually kind of frustrated because I like the concepts, the themes, the ideas, and the storytelling, but sonically there's not a lot here that has me wanting to come back to it, and that has to count. You know me, I always love concepts and ideas and artists who want to spark positive change and, you know, really speak on issues, but I gotta like the music too, and I just really didn't like a lot of what he had going on here, so just another frustrating release from J. Cole for me, man. I just feel like he has all the tools. I feel like he can do even better than this, but hey, man, his fans are calling it a classic. You got other people calling it trash. I don't think it's either, man. I think it's a bit above average. It's a pretty good project, but I'm not going to come back to it. It's not going to be on my top 20 list. There are plenty of other artists speaking on these topics and doing it in a more interesting way, at least sonically, maybe with some more adventurous flows and ideas, but hey, man, that's just what I got to say. I mean, you can check out some of my older reviews. You might find some projects that you like. But hit me up in the comments section with your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And of course, man, check me out on all my social media sites so you can show me love and show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.